Welcome to Music Therapy and Motivation with Gino Black. I'm your host, Gino Black. This is the show where we connect the dots between creativity, hustle, and mental wellness. We're bringing you the inspiration that you need to keep chasing your dreams. In today's episode, we're shining the spotlight on someone who's making waves in the music industry. He's a visionary, a leader, and the mastermind behind the Beat Lounge LTD. The Beat Lounge is a platform that's empowering artists and producers across the globe. I'm talking about none other than Kontrax Valentino. We're going to take a deep dive into his journey, his hustle, and how he's using this platform to make a real impact in the music community in his region. Whether you're an artist, a dreamer, or you're just someone looking for an extra push to level up, this is the conversation for you. So sit back, relax, or better yet, grab a notepad, take some notes, get ready for some serious motivation. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is another episode of Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. This is going to be episode 2 of season 2, starting off 2025 with a murderous list of people that I'm going to be interviewing. The gentleman I'm talking to tonight, this brother is a good brother. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio, or at least he's currently based in Cincinnati, Ohio. He'll correct me in a second. I got Kontrax Valentino at the Beat Lounge over here. Give it up for him, everybody. Appreciate it. Hey, salute this brother. Hey, how you doing, brother? Introduce yourself to the people in your own words.
Wonderful, man. Yeah, Kontrax Valentino. Some people know me as RH Valentino, but Kontrax Valentino is the name that I have in the music industry. And, and you're correct. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised. Started out downtown, and I'm known on the west side. So yeah, that's where I am.
Okay.
And Kontrax Valentino is a name, like I said, is more centered around the music industry. So I do. They have a company called the Beat Lounge LTD, where that's what most people know me as, Kontrax.
Okay. All right, gotcha. And that's how I encountered your name. That's how I got to know you through the Beat Lounge. Because I'm from Cincinnati, and I still bounce back and forth between Miami and Cincinnati. I have my place in Cincinnati. I have my place in South Florida. So I'm still plugged in with the guys there. And then I have some clients that I'm working with music-wise in Cincinnati.
Right.
So I'm still plugged into the scene. What I would like to talk about is a little bit about your background and how you founded the Beat Lounge. And just start with the introduction for the people that's listening that don't know about this movement, this company, this operation that you got in Cincinnati. First, give us a brief description of what it is for my listeners and the people that's watching, and then get into how you founded it. What was the inspiration, and how'd you work up to getting it where it's at right now?
Absolutely. All right. So the Beat Lounge, for those who don't know, is a music producer platform. And basically, we provide networking events and showcases geared around music production. And so the premier event is the Beat Lounge Beat Battle. That's where we started at. So before it was even a company, it was the Beat Lounge Beat Battle. And to be honest with you, when I started doing the beat battles, it was more out of a passion for wanting to be maybe more like a contestant in the beat battle. So it came about kind of on a humble. And, it's a long story, but I can get into it. So
talk about it. Indulge me.
My brother Cheese, rest in peace, is the primary reason why I even got into the music business. He had the dream of being, a big music producer, a rapper. He did all of that stuff. And he was the main reason why I was even introduced to a music recording studio. And
shout out to him.
Absolutely, there's a big shout out to him. A lot of people got their start in Cincinnati under his wing. So, like I said, this legacy wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So, nevertheless, he sent me on a business trip to Atlanta to sell some beats that we cooked up. And when I got there, I hooked up with my homegirl Drama Ganza. Miss Drama Ganza, she gave us room and board, me and my homeboy Kelly Houston. And while we were there, she told me, "Hey, it might be a good idea for you to go to a venue in Atlanta where they were hosting a beat battle." It's the first time I ever experienced something like that. And so when I got there, it was jumping, right? And as a music producer at the time, I was eager, so I wanted to actually get in the battle. But me being the person I am, I didn't know enough about what was going on, so I sat it out and just kind of watched what was going on.
Kind of soaked it up.
Yeah, I was definitely enthused by
Mm-hmm.
the event. And so, like I said, I didn't go there with the idea to do an event at all. I wanted to compete. And so fast forward, make it back to Cincinnati and kicking it around. And I'm doing my day to day,
Mm-hmm.
still making beats and grinding. And I met a guy named John Postman.
Okay.
John, rest in peace to John. He passed away as well.
All right.
Uh,
Shout out to John. Rest in peace.
yep. John Postman was a bar manager at a spot called Baba Boudin's in Clifton.
Mm-hmm.
It's up by Hughes High School.
Okay.
And Baba Boudin's at the time was a spot where Scandal, rest in peace to Scandal, DJ
R.I.P. to
Scandal.
Scandizzle.
Yep, he was DJing open mics there.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy named Hakeem Shair was doing poetry nights there.
Okay.
And so I was introduced to John by Hakeem. And so I did business with John, but then eventually he let me know that he was managing that bar. And so
Mm-hmm.
he asked me what it is that I do, and I told him that I make beats and that I was a DJ. And at the
Okay.
time, I wasn't actively DJing. I was
Mm-hmm.
just, that was something I wanted to tell him to kind of
Right.
spin him. I really didn't
Yeah.
want to get into my business, so I just told him that. And
Right.
so then he told me that he had the bar and he was managing the bar and that he
Mm-hmm.
would give me a night. And so, I'm like, I'm not a promoter. That's nothing. I don't DJ parties. I just know how to DJ.
Right.
So then he told me, well, we'll give you the spot. All we want is the money at the bar, and you can make whatever you want at the door. So
Right.
now my hustler mind is kicking in. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
so when he told me that, I was more so thinking team party. I could do a team party and make some money
Mm-hmm.
real quick.
Right.
So, but I took the night, and then I thought about it. And so then the thinking on it, I'm like, okay, well maybe this would be a good time to do that beat battle thing that I saw in
In
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Right.
That'd be a dope idea. I think the city can use something like that. So um that's really where it started. I decided that I would go ahead and book Scandal as the first DJ
Mm-hmm.
Scandal. I
Yeah.
booked him because he was already working at Baba Dance for one, and for two,
Mm-hmm.
he was the link to the underground music scene. So
Right.
I knew strategically, if I put him on a
That's a
flyer,
smart move. Yeah.
right, it'll go ahead and get his followers. So I booked it in January 2007
Okay.
was when it popped off and it made history. And then from that point on, it was a really a community pillar. And
And
so
how
that
often
was
was that taking place at that time?
monthly. It was
Okay.
happening monthly. So
Okay.
the first event was like a trial just to see, how
How
it
it
would
would
go.
go. And if
It
it
was
made
very
money for the
successful.
bar.
Absolutely. Everybody came out, it was very successful. We packed it out.
Dope.
And then it was funny because when it was happening, again, this is my first time doing an event. I never did an event before, never did a
Mm-hmm.
night. So Scandal leaned over to me like, you just killed this shit, bro. Like, okay, so now I'm a promoter now, I guess.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's really it. That's where that started at. And
Mm-hmm.
then from there in 2012 is where I actually made it a limited liability.
Okay.
That's when I did that. But before then it was just you know, sole proprietary, sole proprietor,
Right.
um, up until then, and just getting used to the process of it.
Right. Just
So
taking care of the business side so that you keep yourself covered from liability in the event that something goes
absolutely,
wrong at one of the
absolutely,
events. Smartest thing you can do. Every person in business, especially promoters, got to do that. And
yeah,
that'll go
absolutely.
into big stuff with insurance and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's good stuff. So
Yeah.
in its current state, what is the Beat Lounge doing on a regular basis now? What's the infrastructure? What are you doing?
So now we kind of took a break. 2013 is when we kind of took that break, and then it was a business reason and it was personal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Business, I wanted to build the infrastructure and learn more about business,
Right.
bring more professionalism. And on a personal level, I needed to go back to work because I wasn't a person that was really used to working in like a corporate setting or anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
At the most, I was more like a I did a lot of work in studios,
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a lot of temporary work. I did a lot of
Mm-hmm.
temporary work jobs. So that's not working corporate. That's more like just having a job.
Right, right, right. You know,
So
gig to
then
gig. Yeah.
so I took a break, and then I went to the Urban League. I did a lot of Urban League programs. I did maybe
Okay.
like three or four of their programs to kind of get myself
Now, what were you
acclimated
learning
to.
there?
So I learned a lot about um, how to get jobs,
Mm-hmm.
resume building, how to present myself, how to do research. Then just and also the Urban League led to what I'm doing now, which is image consulting.
Okay.
So they taught me a lot about how to, just presentation, professionalism, and
Mm-hmm.
and just how to move in that arena. And
Right.
so they taught me a lot about transferable skills, everything I learned from what I was doing in the streets and in the music industry. I could take it over to
Yeah.
corporate. So they taught me a
Yeah.
lot about that kind of stuff. So yeah, so
Yeah. Now that's something. Let me just touch on that for a second. That's something that I'm seeing that a lot of young men and women today don't understand or don't seem to apply is those transferable skills.
yeah,
Like you had mentioned, from a street mentality, into a hood mentality, to a studio mentality, into your, work environment, being professional. All those skills are transferable. Going back to, we used to, well, some of us experienced, some of us seen it on a movie or something where, you say, dude, you can run a gang, you can run a company. If you run a successful enterprise illegally, then you can do the same thing legally. You just need to find a legitimate product to do it, and you still would be great with the transferable skills.
yeah.
Can you speak to and your a little bit about your state of mind in that process, like your willingness to try to learn that and process that and apply that to your life to
Sure,
level up?
absolutely. Um, so like I said, with the music world is kind of like the street world.
Hmm.
Um, you're still in the same element. It's like, when especially when you're doing hip hop,
Right,
especially when you're doing hip hop.
right.
So, because I was more like a hip hop music producer, I was dealing with a lot of
Hmm.
street guys. And so,
Hmm.
um, the thing is this, in the streets, even though you have all the transferable skills, you're not really forced to develop as a person.
Right.
So you pick up your skills, you learn how to navigate. It's more instinctive. So you don't have to learn how to talk properly. You don't have to treat your customers good. All you have to
Hmm.
do is have good product and it'll sell itself. And
Hmm.
so you can still be a scumbag. You know what I mean? You don't have to,
Right, right, right. Be
you don't have
grimy.
to, no communication skills, none of that, right?
Right.
And so because of the fact that I did the Beat Lounge, the Urban League led to me wanting to do something more, right? And
Hmm.
because I did the Beat Lounge, it made me realize that okay, I have a lot to learn professionally,
Hmm.
right? So, all right, so like I said, I went to the Urban League 3 or 4 different times.
Hmm.
So the first time was before I did the Beat Lounge, like 2005, 2006.
Right.
I did Beat Lounge in 2007. But the
Hmm.
Urban League showed me some things about myself that I didn't know I had, which
Right.
was public speaking skills. I didn't know I
Hmm.
had that skill.
Right.
So um, so I ran with that to the Beat Lounge. Like, okay, boom, I could do this here. So the first person that I hired as a host was King Justice Allah, who was a guy that I grew up with. And
Right.
King Justice was heavy in the poetry scene.
Hmm.
He was doing a lot of spoken word,
Right.
but he made beats. So I brought him in because of what I seen him do at the spoken word.
Hmm.
But he didn't understand the concept of the beat battle. So what was happening was producers were battling and he was singing and he was doing
Hmm.
ad libs and stuff over their beats. So
Ah.
I had to let him know, like, nah, you might sway a judge by doing something like that.
Right. Right. Right.
So then I had to take over the hosting for a while.
Hmm.
So until people really understood the concept, because it was a totally new concept in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
When I the first producer I called was Kill Will. And so I had to actually pitch this to a lot of producers because they didn't understand what it
Right.
was. Some people would kind of grasp onto it, but some people like, so how did that work? Like,
Right.
So I had to explain it to a lot of people. So Kill Will was the first person that I spoke to that made me realize, like, okay, I got to sell this. I got to make people understand what's
What
going
it
on.
is exactly. Yeah.
Right. Um, but to answer your question, the mindset was, um, all of this music stuff and all of this street stuff, it didn't prepare me for professionalism, like
Mm-hmm.
to be a professional.
Right.
So I decided, after years of doing the beat battle, as professional as people perceive me as, I knew my weaknesses.
You're right. You identified that within yourself.
Yeah, I knew my
Yeah.
weaknesses. So I said, okay, I'm gonna take a break, 2012, 2013. I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
do corporate. So I went into banking, and the
Okay.
Urban League helped me get there. So
Dope.
before I did that, though, I went to the Urban League for another program, and then I went into banking. Now,
Mm-hmm.
at this time, I had a felony on my record.
Oh,
So the Urban League helped me expunge it, and they
right.
got me ready. They prepared me. So the mindset was this: okay, the Urban League taught me this. You gotta fake it until you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Presentation. Presentation is what'll get you in the door. But then
Right.
you gotta learn how to communicate. You gotta learn how to talk
Mm-hmm.
the talk.
100%.
So so they taught me how to do the research on the company I want to work for and how to ace the interview.
Right.
So then when I got in the door though, it was a tough road, but I got in the
Right.
door partially because of the Urban League.
Right.
Then my networking skills, the guy that was interviewing me,
Mm-hmm.
I told him who I was, and he knew me from the hip hop world. He was
Okay.
like, "Oh, so yeah, you used to be at the open mics and all that. Yeah, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't
Right.
worry about
Right.
it. We
Right.
got you." So now who that helps.
Right. That helped. But you
So
was
then I
also
get
prepared.
yeah,
You was
I was
prepared for
well.
the opportunities.
The thing is this: what the Urban League taught me is what a lot of Black people don't know when they come to the working world is first you have to decide what industry you want to go into before you get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Research the industry, then research the company you want to work for. So
Right.
then now when you get in the interview, you can speak value to the position or to the company that you're trying to work for. So
Exactly.
they taught me that. So
Yeah.
these are things that I never knew. Like, and at this time, you got to think I'm already pushing 30. You
Okay.
see what I'm saying? So I'm pushing
Yeah.
30 at this. Like,
And you're just learning it.
I'm just learning this. So
Hey,
to
that's a
our
that's
to our
that's
black to our black community, this is the thing that we need to be teaching our kids.
yeah.
Don't just let your kid go out here and get a job. You need to figure out what it is that y'all want to do, and then put them in an entry level position in the industry that they really want to be in. Don't
And
just go
learn
get
as
a
much
job
as
at Burger
possible
King.
about that industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't just go work for Burger King just because you need a job.
Mm-hmm.
Go find out what it is you want to do with your life. Then
Right.
find out what entry level position you can get in that industry. And then, when you get in the industry, they got perks, they got resources for you. So
Right.
now they can help you, they might have tuition reimbursement as a benefit. Like, I mean, and then
Right.
you got programs within the company that can help you grow. So, this is the type of things that this is what my mindset was. So they taught me that.
Okay. That's dope, man. That's dope. For all the people that's listening, all the people that's watching, take that in. Think about that. That's setting yourself up for success. That's
Yeah.
forethought into that's long-term planning. We used to have something back in the day when I was coming out of high school, where everybody was talking about what's your 5-year plan. Like what you
Yeah.
gonna be doing in 5 years, well, I'm gonna go to school or I'm gonna go to the military, I'm gonna do this. And after you got your 4-year degree, after you 4 years in the military, you're supposed to figure out what you're gonna do with your life. So we used to talk about
Mhm.
that a lot. I noticed this generation, they don't talk about no future plans. Other than a few people that I know are go-getters and are, people getting higher education, starting businesses and whatnot, or advancing in their prospective careers. The
Mhm.
average young person that I interact with lately, they don't have no plan.
Yeah, and that's interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
now, like I said, I do image consulting, right? And
Hmm.
I started that in 2018.
Okay.
And so with the image consulting, I sit down with people and we discuss things like this. And
Hmm.
what people fail to realize a lot of times when I'm talking to people is uh, you know, time management, planning, goal setting. These are all the things that the most successful people do. So
Hmm.
they're telling you this out coming out of high school is it's interesting, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're still trying to figure out who you are. So it's
Right.
really hard to know what you want to do.
Right.
But if you have some parents that was really active in your life,
Right.
then they were paying attention to you and they knew what you wanted to do. They kind of
Right.
knew, like, okay, what you know, then and again, this conversation is such a broad,
It
it's so many
really is,
layers to it.
bro.
Like
Yeah, that could be a whole episode of something else
it
altogether in and
really
of itself.
can because
Yeah.
it's about to go there, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to actually hold back not to, to drag it out too long, but
It's about to
I
go there.
want them to get the gems, but it is that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah, it
But
is.
yeah, man. So we're blaming it on the parents. Let's blame it on the parents.
But here's the thing,
Yeah,
right? So it's all about accountability, right? So
100%.
so as a man, when I actually became a man, not just of age, when I
Hmm.
actually became a man is when I decided to be accountable, right?
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, so now I got to look at my life and I got to look at what's happening and really say, this is why my life is the way it is, right?
Right, right.
So then, but there's some things are out of your control, right?
Hmm.
So
100%.
so I got one child, I got a daughter. I
Okay.
mean, she's 21 now. And
Good.
and so when I look at my childhood and the things that the standards that I held my parents upon, now I got to look at myself and
Right,
say,
right.
okay, yeah, okay, parenting is really difficult. I
It
mean,
really is. It really
it's
is.
really difficult. But
Yeah.
the thing is this, right? When you do have a child, now your life is not yours anymore. Now you really have to look at the children and say,
100%.
this
You
is what we
do.
need to be doing, right?
That's
So
the focus.
this is the focus now. And
Yeah.
so I'm saying that to say this. A lot of us are having kids in the black community at 14,
Yep.
15. So
Yep.
we don't even know what we want to do with our own life. So
And now
what
you
can we
bringing
teach?
in another life. Right.
What can we that's
Yep.
the never ending cycle right there. That's the
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
because this is what I'm seeing, right?
Right.
A lot of the parents, they're selfish because they're like, I mean, I had a kid at 14, but
So now I want to live my life.
I want to live my life. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
but really, the parents is supposed to be sitting back studying their child and saying, on one hand, is we need this child to become this for the family. That's one
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, is but the child has this interest, and they're drawn to this.
Hmm.
So it's a two-way street. So now
Right.
it's like,
Right.
okay,
Right.
we need to develop in this area, but this is what you love to do, so we got to pour into that as well.
Yeah.
So but a
It's
lot of the,
it's
like I
it's hard
said,
to find the balance if the parent
it
is
is,
active with it at all.
it is.
And that might be the case. I'm not going to do the research says and study shows, but I'm in agreement with you. I'm in
Right.
agreement with you that there's a high level that a lot of parents aren't engaged with the kids, and that's why these kids coming out acting like maniacs. I'm talking about my own
You know,
people. That's on me.
I mean, but look, life is hard, right?
It
Like
is.
life is hard, right? And
It's
then
traumatic just being black, bro.
it
Like
is, right?
it's we got PTSD generationally.
Yeah.
It's
And,
hard, man. But I just that and that's kind of why I'm doing this platform, man, so we can have this dialogue and spread, words, so, where somebody may stumble upon this video and just catch these few moments of dialogue and something that you or
mhm,
I said, that light bulb go off and they
you're
make
right.
a change and they make a fix. That's what I'm hoping that these conversations that I'm having and putting out do for people.
Yeah,
Um,
I want
because
that.
like you said, you got your child and the child comes first. I'm a father as well. And every time I became a father right after the next, I'm a father of six, and I've got five adults, and then my youngest is 15, and
Hmm.
she's still my first priority. They all are, but because she's
Hmm.
still, a minor, that's my first priority. Like everything is for her. I have to get along with her mom, you know what I mean? And then for my other children with engagements, I got to get along with my ex-wife. So it's because it's
Hmm.
all for the kids, really. It's not about me. It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. But what you to speak to what you were saying, I think we do lack of getting our kids readily prepared for what's out here. I think we have a generation in between ours that kind of got lost somewhere. And like you say, they're having the babies younger and younger all the time. I guess it even in more broader. It used to happen back in our day. You know, she got pregnant, you know, Brenda's got a baby. She got pregnant at 14, 15, whatever. But now it seems like that's the starting age across the board. It just seems like there's more of it, or maybe it's just social media and we see more of it. Maybe it's all those 16 and pregnant shows. I don't know. But
I think we're seeing more of it. I think you're right about that. We're just seeing
yeah.
more of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and in general, we got our community make this is a whole nother rabbit hole. So I'm gonna switch back to your stuff. We got all people just willingly making broken homes from jump, bro, on purpose,
yeah. I mean, I think we
on
kids.
purpose.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's so much going on, right? So I mean, and like you, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole either, but we got to say it because we on it. But so
right.
you got to think like so before. So I was born in the '70s, late '70s,
Mm-hmm.
and so you hear stories of um families having babies out of wedlock
Mm-hmm.
and prior, like way before we were born, right?
Right, right,
Having
right,
babies young and out of wedlock. The difference is it was shame attached to it back
right,
then. So
right.
now they
Speak
trying
on
to
it.
hide it. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to hide it. So it's like, okay, they're saying they're saying that maybe it was an auntie who was the mother when really
Mm-hmm.
it was a child who was the mother.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now the child growing up to find out that the auntie
Was the
is
mama.
really not the. You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah, yeah. Who they thought was the mama ain't the mama. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where a lot of the what they call the generational curses and stuff like that back
Right,
then.
right.
Even if Shorty might have had a kid young at
Mm-hmm.
14, the family don't want that to get out. So now we got to say
Right,
it's the auntie's baby or it's the mom's
right,
baby. So
right.
it's a lot of that was happening back then. But now
Yeah.
the shame ain't attached.
Nope.
So now it's just like they having babies young, and it is what it
Yeah.
is. And so and then the mothers of the grandmothers are raising the kids,
Right.
and the actual parents are doing what they want to do.
Right.
So it's just a crazy, it's a lot going on.
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious
Yeah.
cycle. So let's sag back. You had touched on the image consultant. Now with the image consultant, so in addition to physical appearance, you talk to them about presentation, speaking and stuff like that, etiquette and stuff like that
Yeah.
too.
So it's the ABCs of image consulting. You got appearance, behavior, and communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
So behavior, of course, that's going to lean on etiquette, how you should conduct yourself in certain settings and, what, all of that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
just the kind of mindset that it would take to get where it is you're trying to go. Then
Right.
you got the communication, of course, is, how you got to talk in whatever settings, what comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, but I like to start with appearance because appearance can change you. How you
Yes.
dress can change you.
Yes.
So, and again, this is where my change came from. Okay, I went to
Mm-hmm.
the Urban League, and then let me tell you the one story though. The one thing that
Go for
really
it.
did it for me, I was in the streets, right? This was in between one of my music, 1 foot in the music and 1 foot in the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I never did nothing real heavy in the streets, but I jumped out
Right.
there.
Right.
So one day I'm walking down the street on McHenry, and street called McHenry in Westwood. The police pull up on me while I'm walking.
Mm-hmm.
And then he like, I'm the only person outside. He was like, man, you sticking out like a sore thumb.
What time of day was it? What time of night was it?
It was early. It was like about 10 in the morning,
Okay.
something like that. I was always the first person out, 9,
Okay.
10 a.m.
Gotcha.
So I did that on purpose by design. I'm trying to be the
Right.
first one out. So you sticking out like a sore thumb. I'm like, what? Like, what I'm saying? I kind of little attitude, I was trying to be
Mm-hmm.
tough, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he like, yeah, man. He was like, listen, man. He was like, I could jump out the car. I can go in your pockets, see what you got, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna give you a pass today. He said, but I will tell you that you look like what I'm looking for. You fit the description of what I'm looking for, but I'm gonna give you a pass. He said, but the next time I see you, I'm gonna do my job. That's what he
Hmm.
told me. I'm a police and I'm gonna do my job. But I'm gonna just give you that. Like, so I was
Okay.
salty at first. Then I
Right.
thought about it like that. He didn't have to do that. Because if he
Right.
would have went in my pockets, he would have found something.
Okay.
No lie.
Okay.
I really should have ran or something. Like, you know what I mean? But, but me
You
being
had
the
to
type of
puff your
person
chest
I
out
am,
though.
yeah, I'm the type of person that I feel like if I run, then I look guilty.
Right.
So I'm gonna let you talk and see what you got to say because you might just be telling me so I don't know. Like, and in that
Hmm.
case, that's what it was.
Right.
So when he told this was at the height of the um the Timothy Thomas and the profiling thing that was going on in
Okay. Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a big time. So he profiled me. Like I mean, so then when he told me that, I said, if if he saw if he saw me and knew that I was what he was looking for,
Right.
then that means I need to change my image,
100%.
right? So I didn't stop doing what I was doing. I just started dressing different.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
I just started wearing uniforms all the time. I'm just gonna start wearing uniforms. So
Hmm.
I started wearing uniforms. Like I'm gonna go to the Goodwill. I shopped at the Goodwill all the time. I grew up shopping at the
Right.
Goodwill.
Right.
So I'm gonna go to the Goodwill, give me a little uniform, and I'm gonna just start running around with uniforms. And that worked for me. Because
They staying
now
off you.
not only did they stay off me, everybody else didn't pay no attention to me.
Right.
Like it was just so then
That
my
easy.
my brother Cheese, he was doing way more than me, like when it came
Hmm.
to that stuff. So he adopted my method. He started wearing
Hmm.
uniforms too. Like
Right.
so this is where the image consultant thing kicked in. I said, well,
Mm.
you wearing uniforms and people looking at me different. How far can I push this? So
Right.
I said, you know what? I want to do something different. So then I go to the Urban League.
Hmm.
So the Urban League had a Dress for Success program,
Okay.
right? So boom. So I got into the Dress for Success program and learned the physical presentation. So they showed me
Hmm.
that okay, if you put on the right clothes, you can walk through some doors that you usually won't walk through.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you if you put on the right clothes, you would have the ambition to go places that you usually wouldn't
100%.
even try to go to.
Yeah,
Like I mean,
just getting your physical appearance together makes you feel better in general anyway. When you
absolutely.
look in the mirror, you see that fresh outward appearance of yourself. And
Absolutely.
it's not really about your individual style to me. It's just about you seeing you cleaned up, dressed,
Absolutely.
nice. You just feel better about yourself. You perform better. You do your job better when you look good.
Yeah. And then and that's the key right there. And I'm
Hmm.
gonna get to that part, but then it's the perception. It's how people
Yeah.
see you. That's a whole different
Yeah.
ball game right there. Because when I started changing my appearance, now people respecting me, whether I earn it or not.
Right. Right.
They just giving me respect. I got a tie on, a suit, and I'm just getting respect for no reason.
Yeah.
People asking me for jobs and everything, and I'm broke.
Mm.
So so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right. So now I want to actually have the internal aspect. I got the outside thing going.
Right.
I want to have I want to have a mouthpiece and I want to be able to articulate, man, and the brain is the match.
Right.
So so your appearance is really a magnet. It's either a magnet, but it's a magnet, right?
Hmm.
It's going to either be positive or negative.
Right.
It's either going to push people away or it's going to make people gravitate to you. And
Yep.
it's certain types of people. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's really where I got that from. So
Okay.
once I went through my own image revamp, then I was like, okay, I see how important this really is. And so I started seeing how a lot of other brothers could use this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So now
Right.
I want to teach it. Now I want to teach people
Okay.
how this can really change their lives. And so that's really where I got into the image consulting. And so now what gave me the drive to do that is um it was rooted in my childhood, right? So I
Okay.
was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in my life besides the music stuff.
Hmm.
So my childhood revealed to me what I really like to do. So, and this is how that happened. So, and I'm gonna tell you this story. I gotta
Go
tell you
for
this
it.
story.
Go for it.
So, you know Taka, right?
Not for
Taka
me.
moved it down the way. So Taka,
Oh, wait a
he
minute.
did
Yeah,
a
yeah,
song.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's my guy, right? So
Okay.
he one of the few people that I met when I first started doing music. So I knew
Okay.
him before
Okay.
he started rapping and all of that. So So I run into Taco one day in Kroger's. And, so I'm kind of teeter-tottering on if I want to move forward with the image consulting thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I run into Taco, and we every time I run into Taco, we just talk.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where we at, we just talk. Like, we don't really jump on the phone or nothing, but when I run
Right,
into
but
him,
y'all just
we
pick
have
right back up.
a whole 45-minute conversation
Yeah.
in Kroger's. Like, we in Kroger's, like, just, and so this is how it
Yeah.
happened. So I'm in Kroger's, and I'm talking to Taco, and he tell me he started DJing. He's like, man, I'm DJing now. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. So, and I already DJ when I was a kid. That was one of the
Mm-hmm.
things I used to love to do. Like,
Right.
so he was like, yeah, man. He was like, I was like, I might need to get back into that. He was like, yeah, you should. If that's something you used to do as a kid and it made you happy, you
Mm-hmm.
should. He was like, you know what, Tino? He was like, the reason a lot of people ain't happy is because they don't know what makes them happy, and their happiness is usually rooted in their childhood. And I was
Yep.
like, yeah, you're right. And so then like
Yeah.
I reflected on my
That's good.
childhood, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was profound.
Mm-hmm.
So I started reflecting on my childhood. And so I changed at a certain aspect, like around the third, fourth grade.
Okay.
But before that, I was the type of person who caught on to my work fast. And when I get it, I start going around the class and helping everybody else catch on,
Okay.
right? That was my natural character. But then once the teachers started taking a liking to me,
Mm-hmm.
now they want to include me in a lot of, like, they wanted me to be the hall monitor and give me the
Right.
orange
Right.
bell. And they want me to watch the class when they leave, and I got a tip. So now
Right.
I'm starting to look like what they was calling a teacher's pet.
I was about to go there, but I want you to say it.
Yeah, right. So that changed me. So now I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I got to change because I don't want to be perceived as a teacher's pet.
Right.
So now I don't want to do no hall guard, hall monitor stuff. I don't want to be I don't want to look over the class and none of that. And I ain't
Right.
even
Right.
helping nobody no more. Now I'm hanging with the rough kids and I'm doing more rougher stuff, and
Right.
I'm changing. So so at that point, I lost a part of myself. When I
Yeah.
lost a part of myself.
Yeah.
So now I'm not willing to help people, and I ain't doing none of the stuff that I used to do. So that's what made me say, you know what? I'm an image consultant. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it because I like helping people. Generally, in my
Yeah.
heart, I like the Beat Lounge was all about helping people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I stepped back from my own music production career to run this, and
Mm-hmm.
now all the other producers is eating. All the other producers is
Yeah.
they doing their thing, and I'm happy that's fulfilling
Right.
for me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm an image consultant. That's what I need to do.
Yeah.
I like helping people. Like, I mean,
Okay.
so
That's good stuff, man. You help people. You were able to help them showcase their talent so that they could get their work, so that they could go on to be successful. So you set them
absolutely
up for success. That's all good work. That's
on the
all good work.
platform. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's
Yep.
good work. And
So
so give me just like a little brief, like say if a young brother wanted to uh learn how to communicate better, run through me a general, just real quickly, a general how you would teach him better skill sets and better communication skills.
so first of all, what I would do if it's a young brother, I sit down with him and I start pulling out the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
I pull out the books and I probably refer to some videos or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I say, okay, first of all, read for me. I ask him to read for me. See how he approach reading. Then I will read for him. I'll read for the young brother, like I'm gonna read to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then um I would refer to some videos and show him how people talk. Listen
Right.
to how he talk and listen
Mm-hmm.
to how he talk. I
Right.
mean, I just give them examples and let them really become conscious of what
Right.
communication is. And so for me, the first thing that I always do is just listen.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went into banking, I did customer service.
Okay.
So most of my work was on the phone, over the phone. So
Mm-hmm.
it taught me a lot about communication. And
Right.
so what I learned is how I answer the phone sets the tone for the call.
Right. 100%.
So now I had to work on my voice. So let me tell you this part. So when I got in, I started at Citibank, and I told you
Mm-hmm.
I got in because of
Over in
Herbalife
Kentucky.
in Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got in. The Herbalife had an outreach program. I got in, and I
Mm-hmm.
met dude, and he got me in through the cracks. But when I started working, My manager had to pull me to the side and say, "How'd you get this job?"
Hmm.
I said, "Well, I did this, I did that." She was like, "Well, it's apparent that you don't belong here. And I could tell by the way you talk. You look the part. When you start talking, and tell
Okay.
on you, right?" So I would say,
Hmm.
"Oh." So basically I slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
So that's when I knew I need to work on my communication. And that's what she told me. She said, "What you should do is go watch some movies. Go watch some movies and listen to how the white people talk in the professional movies. Go listen to how they talk
Hmm.
and pick up some of their lingo, pick up some of their words,
Right.
and bring it back to work and use it."
Code switching. That's what we used to call it.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Hmm.
it was. And so she was like, she was like, "I see where you live, and I live right up the street from you." And she was
Hmm.
like, "I talk like this at work. When I go home, I cuss like a pirate."
Hmm.
The white lady
Yeah.
told me this.
Yeah.
So she said, "You just work on your communication, and then your calls will go better, and the customers will trust you more." And
Hmm.
then she was like, and make sure you sound confident when you talk because they don't know what you don't know. All they
Right.
know, all they know is
Right.
if you sound like you know what you're talking about, then they're gonna have
Right.
trust in you.
Yeah.
So basically, it's the same approach that I would take to a young brother. I would say,
Right.
"Listen, sit down with me. Here goes some of the books that you should read. Read this book." I give them a book specifically. Read this book.
Hmm.
The key to your vocabulary is reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna read. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So I started reading way more than I did ever as a kid. I
Hmm.
read way more now. And
Yeah.
so that's what I would do. I would work on, getting them some books to read.
Reading
Uh,
books is a lost art, man.
yeah, it's so important because it's a
Yeah.
different process.
Yeah.
What it does for your mind is
Yeah.
different. And so I would say, and then and again, for a young brother, not for a grown man, for a young brother,
Hmm.
we gonna read together. I don't even
Right.
want us to send you home and expect you to do it. I want you to hear me read and
Right.
see that I'm really about this. And then we're gonna bounce it back and forth. And then we're
Right.
gonna make sure that you actually comprehending what you
Introduce it
read.
with baby steps. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then just let them
Yeah.
know like we doing this together. I don't want you to feel like you're doing it on your own.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I was thinking like how, what percentage of these brothers be apprehensive to really dive in and really go for it and give it their all. Pretty much you have a high amount that do, you have any that kind of resist or have that fear.
well, for the most part, usually when people come to me,
Hmm.
they're ready for change. Most people they're already
Gotcha.
ready for change.
Yeah. Well, I
So
guess yeah, if you when you're ready to pay for it, yeah, you're ready for it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
so now what I would do though is because one thing I learned in getting into this field of image consulting is a lot of people don't really know what that is.
Hmm.
So a lot of people think that it's just about styling. That's what
Hmm.
a stylist does. And
Right.
now when I first got into it, that's what I was doing. But then I realized
Hmm.
that nah, it's the image consulting thing that I
Right.
really want.
Yeah, that's
Styling
that's kind of why I'm asking these questions so that people that are listening and watching really
is
understand all that's involved with
different.
it. It's not just
Yeah.
picking outfits for people. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not. It's not.
yeah.
It's a lot to go into it. Another thing too, like I do color analysis, and that's
Hmm.
basically finding out what your undertone is, your skin tone, what season it's in, to find out what colors best flatter your skin type. And that helps
Hmm.
you pick a better wardrobe for yourself. I do
Hmm.
wardrobe analysis. I do. And again, I work in this. I got a manage a shop, a sewing
Hmm.
shop, so we do alterations. Um, I do. It's a lot that go into it. So what I do, so how that works is though, I just sit down with someone and go through a process to find out exactly what it is that they're trying to accomplish. Then
Hmm.
we'll pick out what works best for them. So I'm not cookie cutter. It's not one way to do it. So
Right. Each
the
person
initial
is
consult,
you're catered to that individual specifically, each
absolutely,
one.
absolutely.
Okay. So it's
I
sort
just
of
do one initial consultation. Yeah,
a bespoke service. So where
absolutely.
you it's tailor made, 100%
Yeah,
each time. Yeah, I get it. I kind of do the same thing with my music clients for marketing. Like no two
hmm
marketing platforms or excuse me, marketing strategies were the same for two different artists. I kind of
yeah,
do the same thing. I break that artist down to what they are about and then we create a campaign based on just that, and then we go with the push. So I get that aspect of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the same.
that's good stuff, man. And there's a lot of brothers out here that need that stuff. And it
Yeah,
is not only a business, you are giving it back and you paying it forward because they can pass that on to their sons and their little brothers and their nephews and stuff, what
absolutely.
they learn from you. The same way that people can
Yeah,
pick that up and take that away from this.
yeah.
You had mentioned the shop that you manage. What's the name of that shop?
It's called Moreau Sewing Unlimited.
Moreau Sewing
Moreau.
Unlimited.
Yep. And so the
Okay.
shop is owned by a man named Ian Moreau. That's his last
Mm-hmm.
name is Moreau. And he's from the island of Dominica,
Mm-hmm.
not
I've been
Republic,
there.
but
No,
the
I've been
island of
there.
Dominica.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. And so he came to Cincinnati actually to bring the value. He didn't, most people come to this country for opportunity. And
Mm-hmm.
although I can, of course, it had to be some type of opportunity he was seeking, but
Mm-hmm.
he actually wanted to bring value because of the fact that he was able to come into the country.
Right.
So he thought, okay, what is it that I can bring here that can help this city?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to help? And it's the art of sewing is how he wanted to help.
Okay.
So he knows that it's a dying art, so he wants to teach it. So he got the north side location, which is where I manage. Then he
Mm-hmm.
has another location downtown, OTR, and
Okay.
then he has a fabric store downtown and a boutique downtown. And so and he started a nonprofit called Pioneer Sewing as well.
Okay.
So he wants to give the gift of sewing to people.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a saying that goes, um, if you buy someone a shirt, you clothe them for a season.
Mm-hmm.
But when you teach someone to sew, you clothe them for a lifetime,
Okay.
right? So
Similar
he
to teach them how to fish. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
like
the
it.
same thing. Yeah,
Nice
yeah,
switch of the proverb. Yeah, I like that.
yeah,
I like that. So
absolutely.
he's got all those locations. Are each location doing the same services or doing something different?
Well, of course, the sewing shops are doing the same service,
Okay.
but the fabric store is a fabric store, and
Okay.
then the boutique is basically focuses on dresses and selling the prom dresses, wedding dresses.
Okay.
So
Dope.
yeah, yeah,
Dope.
yeah.
I'll get that information from you after this. So I'll put that plug for those for that information, that contact information in the description on the video and on the podcast description.
Absolutely.
And you had also mentioned the nonprofit that he started too,
Yeah, Pioneer Sewing. Yeah.
Pioneer Sewing. And is that the thing that you had talked about earlier about the sewing classes?
Yeah, so Pioneer Sewing is the offers the free sewing class, which is introduction to sewing.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's a free community class. You just sign up. Every class is they're small classes that tops out at 6 people, so you
Mm-hmm.
really get the attention you need. And
Okay.
so this is the class that you would take if sewing is something that you're interested in. You want to
Mm-hmm.
see what it's about, or if you had maybe sewed in the past and you gave up on it and you want to try to revamp it, this is perfect for that. And then
Okay.
I also tell people that guys, if you wanted to have a little outing with a lady that you're interested in, do
Mm-hmm.
the free class. It don't cost anything.
So
And it's something
it's
that you
not by age or anything, the free classes?
no, not really. As long as a guardian is present, if they're
Okay.
younger. So we're not really looking to babysit, but
I
but you
understand.
can
I
bring your
understand.
kids.
Now, is this something that goes on just for a period of time, or is this something that happens year round for the
This is
sewing
annual.
classes?
It's yearly, and then well, that's not
Okay.
yearly, but it does go year round.
It
And
happens all year round consistently.
and
Okay.
well, and there's Saturdays. The intro classes are designated for Saturdays. Now
Mm-hmm.
we do have paid classes, which is beginner sewing
Mm-hmm.
and intermediate, and those are $145 to take, but they're like
Mm-hmm.
6 to 8 sessions, and you learn pretty much everything you need to learn to complete a bag or something that you want to make.
Okay. Okay. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the location that you manage is in Northside.
Yes, sir. North side, just north of downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we call it North Side, but it's north of downtown.
North of
But
downtown Cincinnati for those watching and listening outside of
yeah,
Cincinnati.
yeah, I forget we worldwide.
Yeah.
Feel me?
Well, plug it, plug
Uh,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
we
for
worldwide.
sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
but yeah, yeah.
now talk about North Side for people that like if somebody wanted to get a general idea of that neighborhood, tell us a little bit about North Side.
So North Side is a mixed community. Is regentrified. They're going through a regentrification process. I think most neighborhoods that are near a downtown location in any city are going
Mm-hmm.
through some type of regentrification. But
Right.
North Side is being regentrified, but it is a mixed community. Um, it's uh, it's a lot of people in North Side now. From being in the shop and dealing with the customers, I'm learning that it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people that's here that are not from Cincinnati.
Right.
Um, so it's a very mixed community. Then there's you have the whites, the blacks, you have then the LGBTQ. It's a lot of that going on here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of shops. It's a lot of restaurants, tattoo parlors, barbershops, vegan restaurants. It's a nice community. It's a tight knit community too. So they have a lot of historic buildings here
Mm-hmm.
that they're trying to keep. So
Yeah, I know there's a lot of
uh,
historic houses over there too.
it's a lot of historic stuff. And so just to give you a little story about how much of a community it is, when they were going through the beginning stages of the regentrification process, uh, they were they were looking to snatch up some of the buildings and tear them down and rebuild. So the community, when they started the regentrification process, the north
Mm-hmm.
side, and they wanted to take those historic buildings, the community came together and went down to City Hall and spoke against that and stopped it from
Okay.
happening. So it was a bunch of people that went down there. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, that let me know that North Side is really a tight knit community. I
Yeah.
thought that was I thought that
I
was
think
pretty something.
historically it's always kind of been a tight knit community in that
Yeah,
neighborhood, even with the gentrification.
yeah.
And even on Hamilton, even past the business district there, those
Hmm.
houses, they've been holding on to those houses for 200 years. They got some real nice
Yeah,
historic
people
houses.
actually value the community. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that's what I like about it.
yeah, yeah. I think last time I was well, not the last time I was in town, but sometime last year, one of the artists I was working with was performing down the north side at this little cafe spot down there, not too far from KFC. I can't remember the
North
name of
Side Tavern or Chameleon.
it. Might be the second one. I can't remember the name. It might be the
It's
second
a
one.
bunch of bars. It's a bunch of those
Yeah,
spots.
some of the guys I used to manage in a rock band worked down in Northside Tavern, and work
Yeah,
at the bar down there. So I pop down there from time to time when I'm in there.
yeah,
But yeah, I like that community, man. Just wanted to give some people that are not familiar with it a little bit of information about the city.
yeah. It's a dope
They can
community.
appreciate, um, and with your day to day job doing that job, running that shop is how long you been doing that?
I've been doing it for it'll be. I'll say I started in April last year.
Okay.
I started in April last year. And I've been working with Ian longer than that,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as taking over the shop, I'll say April last year,
Okay.
2024. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice moves. Nice moves. And
It just
then
give me an opportunity to learn how to manage a brick and mortar style business.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So learning a lot.
Now getting back a little bit to the Beat Lounge.
Yeah.
You have a connection with what's the studio downtown that I see sometimes you posting? Timeless.
That's actually in um Evanston. It's a timeless recording studio.
Timeless Recording Studios. Okay.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's my guy Evan. That's my guy Evan. Mama named me Evan. He's a producer who's
mhm,
made waves in the city. He's a pillar as well.
mhm,
It's been I got a lot of love for Evan. Um, he's a real brother. You
mhm.
know, he's a real brotherly figure. If you ever connect with him and get
Okay.
him in your corner, you really got a brother. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
so
That's what's
and
up.
Yeah, yeah, he's a dope guy, man. Him and so the connection came because Evan was someone he went by Young X when I met him.
Okay.
He he's someone who came up through the Beat Lounge as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all the producers who came up through the Beat Lounge and frequented the beat battles, they're all becoming successful and
Mm-hmm.
they're reaching back. He's one of them.
Right.
And so
Nice.
him and Cameron Napier, who's the president
Mm-hmm.
of Thomas Recording Studio, they contacted me about the Beat Lounge and specifically asked me to bring it to their location and gave me a home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would never, I get that I'd never forget them for that. You feel me? That it was a
Right.
big move
Right.
because it's like, you got quite a few guys who came through the Beat Lounge and they won't really mention what the
Mm-hmm.
Beat Lounge did for them. But I know,
Right.
and we don't really want credit for no one's success. We
Mm-hmm.
just want people to say, "Hey, the Beat Lounge helped me in this
It would be
way."
nice to be acknowledged
Yeah, that's all.
when you poured into them.
Yeah, and just to
Yeah.
keep it keep it there for the people that's coming up. Pull
Right.
back into it so that someone else
Right.
that's coming up can have access to it.
Right.
Because I always looked at the Beat Lounge as a community platform.
Mm-hmm.
And Scandal was the one who made me see it for what it was. Because I was just like, sometimes I would get frustrated because I'm like, this is for everybody and everybody not putting forth like I think
Mm-hmm.
that they should. And he's like, nah, that's your baby. Like you got to make it do what it's gonna do. Like I mean,
Right.
it's there for everybody, but you can't expect nobody to come in and raise your child. You know what I
That's
mean, like
right.
you will raise your child. So then that's when I decided, okay, I'm just gonna, do what I do. But at first, I was just like, man,
Yeah.
this for everybody. This ain't me. This for everybody. Like I mean,
Right.
and it is. At the end of the day, it came out of my mind, and it's something I got to raise. So,
Yeah, well,
but for
it's a good thing you was brave enough to do it because I got experience with that too. Starting companies, especially within hip hop. Power Blast started as a hip hop label in Cincinnati,
Mhm.
and I wanted everybody to be involved. I wanted that community. I wanted to help everybody, but it just wasn't that. It just never
It
happened.
ain't that.
And then
Mm.
I just had to build my own thing. And then later, some of the people recognized and wanted to be a part of it. But then other people just felt it, oh, well, it's a resistance now. Now it's
Mhm.
us against them or him against us. No, it never was. I said, let's
No.
do it. I'm always offering olive branches. I'm always throwing bones to the dogs. And
Mhm.
some people are here to receive it, some people are not.
Right.
That used to frustrate me for a long time. I've learned to let that go, but
Yeah.
it's good to see, and that's kind of one of the vibes I got from you to invite you on here, that you are somebody that's trying to help other people and highlight other people, and it doesn't seem like there's ego involved because that's where I'm at with mine. It's like, yeah, I got an ego when I'm producing records. Yeah, I got an ego when I'm rhyming, but as a black man, as a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur too. Like everything I'm doing, I'm trying to monetize every part of it. So
Yeah.
you can't build that alone.
Nah.
However, just like what you said, you got to be the maverick personality to just go out there and do it regardless. And if
Yeah.
those are meant to be on their road, which are they're meant to be. If they're not, they're not.
Absolutely.
And I find that, at least in my experience, a lot of people took that as a line in the sand. Once I still did it without them. No, I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't do it
Well,
without
you
you. I
can't
just did.
stop.
Yeah, I
You
just did
can't,
what I had to do. You
yeah,
was
you got to do
offered.
what.
You was offered to build. You didn't want to build, so I built it myself. You can
Yeah.
still be a part of it, but they rather hate on it. But that's my plight. I'm getting over that. That's my new. That's my resolution that I didn't make this year is to get this chip off my shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But
Yeah.
nah, man, that's dope. So now I know you threw a couple of events, or at least that I'm privy to. So a couple of events recently with the Beat Lounge, right?
Yeah.
So how
So,
how
so,
tell me about those?
so I had quite a few things going on. So I'll talk a little bit about 2024. So 2024 was the first year that I actually worked with Timeless in terms of having an event at their location.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 beat battles at the location. And just to kind of touch on that, so I had the first winner was Montana. That's High Tech Son.
Mm-hmm.
He won, and then he also won. And then we had one at the Black Family Reunion, and he
Mm-hmm.
won that one. So the winner of the one at Timeless got a chance to be featured. The winner and the runner-ups got a chance to be featured at the Black Family.
Right.
For those who don't know, the Midwest Regional Black Family Reunion is a celebration of all the Black families in Cincinnati that all come together for a festival, and all types of stages for performances and vendors, and it's a
DJs.
DJ. Yeah, it's a festive weekend in Cincinnati. So that's a good look for the Beat Lounge. Now
Mm-hmm.
that's not the first time that we ever did it, because I was on the committee for the Black Family Reunion back in
Right.
like 2009,
Mm-hmm.
um, 10, somewhere around that time. But Scandal was the one who told me it'd be a good idea for me to jump on the committee.
Right.
So, nevertheless, we had that. Then we had another one at Timeless, and it was a guy who won that by the name of he got a different type of name, so it throws me off. But what's his name? I can't remember his name right now, but I'll come back to that. So we
Okay.
had 2 last year. So now we're going to have some this year. And the way that I want to do this is quarterly. I want to have quarterly beat battles. So the
Mm-hmm.
one that I'm planning on having this year is going to be in March. But in between time, you want to have showcases, producer showcases, and workshops. So I wanted to do a workshop this month, but um, I decided I'm gonna chill and go for February. But the
Mm-hmm.
weather and everything is throwing me off a little bit.
Right.
I've
Right. Right.
always, with all the years of doing the Beat Lounge, the winter months are usually good months in terms of people actually wanting to go into a location,
Right.
but it's the weather you have to be concerned with.
Right. And
So
then the snowstorm just hit.
snow, yeah. So
Yeah.
that was always a issue. But yeah. So March is when we're going to have our first beat battle of the year
Okay.
at Timeless, right? So and just to touch on it, Timeless is a great. That's one of the top studios in the city. Timeless
Mm-hmm.
Recording. It's a nice facility. I
Plug
think
it.
it'd be
Plug it.
yeah, it's a dope facility. Anybody in the city interested in having top level recording, or a great facility that could actually fuel your creativity, that'll be a great spot to record at. Um, but
Shout out Timeless Studios.
yeah, Timeless Recording Studios is dope. Uh, so um, aside from that, Timeless does other events, a lot of other networking events.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, another event we had was in Northside, the 808 Festival. That was something we just did.
On 808 day.
Yeah, no, it was 808 Festival.
Okay.
So 808 Festival is an event that's rooted in EDM.
Okay.
So this is a way to introduce the Black community to EDM,
Yeah.
right? And so we had it inside. I think we should have did it in the spring or summer outside,
Right.
but it was a good way to kind of introduce it to people.
Right.
So we had maybe like about um, a good 15 producers and DJs come together and just do
Mm.
different sets. And
Right.
DJ on one, aka J Skills,
Mm.
he was the headliner of that. He was the one who
Mm.
actually brought it to the forefront for us, because he's the one who's actually on the road DJing. And so he's going to a lot of these big EDM shows. So
Right.
he felt that was something to bring back. And he thinks that's going to be the new frontier for what the Beat Lounge is doing.
Okay. I
So
mean, it's a good look, bro. I mean, I put out some EDM tracks, like in addition to my hip hop tracks, I put out EDM tracks as
mhm,
instrumentals, and they
yeah,
do well. They do real well. And then I also work with a DJ in New Zealand who's pretty big over there
Mhm.
for his marketing efforts. And he's huge over there with his sound. And he's also huge in India too. And then even in Cincinnati, I got Ari Martin that's working with Power Blast now. He does a lot of EDM tracks. And we've been getting a lot of
Mhm.
traction on his instrumentals too. So I get it. So that's good stuff. So 808 Festival. Now, did they
Yeah.
have like live DJs and stuff?
Yep. Yep. We had live DJs and producers basically.
Hmm.
We had Toby,
Okay. Tobias.
Toby,
Okay.
Tobias, yeah. I butcher his name every
Hmm.
time. So I just stick with Toby.
Toby,
But
yeah, that you safe for that.
yeah, he killed it. He killed it.
Yeah, he's
But
talented.
yeah, but we had DJ Essential, the only female that was in it. DJ
Okay.
Essential, she was in it. Um Evan, who Thomas,
Hmm. Right.
he was in it. Uh we had we had another guy, I forget his name, Tyron, I forget his name, but he played the drums. He did a crazy set. Like it was wild. It was a dope
Like
event.
EDM live drums.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone doesn't know how to do EDM.
Hmm.
So we it was an introduction to it.
Okay.
So we let everybody come in and do their thing.
Right.
So, but the only person who actually knew what EDM is Jay Skills. Everybody else
Right.
don't
Okay.
really do EDM. So Jay Skills was the only one who could really show a DJ on the one is the only one who could really
Right.
show what it is. So and that's the reason we did it that way.
Okay.
So now when we do it again, everybody have an understanding. Now
Gotcha.
DJ Essential, her mix was crazy. It was crazy, but
Hmm.
what people don't understand about EDM is it's the drops.
Yeah.
And this is why it's the drop zone 808
Yeah.
festival. So it's the drops that really the build ups and the drops
Yep.
that give it the energy. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
so that's what Jay Skills, DJ on the one, was trying to present to show people that this is the culture of the type of music that we're dealing with.
Right.
He feels that with our twist on EDM, it can breed a new style, a new sound. So
It will, most definitely.
yeah,
It
so
will
in
definitely
the
do
way he
that.
did it, he had some crazy stuff. His set was off the chain. But
Nice.
we just wanted to make something different and exciting for the community, and it was dope. It was dope. I think we did that in November. I think it was back in November that we did that. Yeah,
November of 24.
yeah, November 24th. That's when we did it.
Okay,
So,
shit. I gotta look out for the next one. So I'll be checking the Beat Lounge for the post about that one.
yeah,
Um, anything that we didn't cover that you got going on that we want to talk about?
absolutely. So I'm a proud member of the National Commission of Black Arts and Entertainment, NC Bay.
Okay.
I'm on a committee for that, and that's spearheaded by Daphne Thomas. Our headquarters is downtown Cincinnati. And,
Hmm.
we do a festival, the Black Culture Festival every year at Washington Park,
Okay.
downtown Cincinnati. Um, that's something that's we're getting ready for a new year with that, and that's something that I want everybody to look out for and tap in. If you're in the arts community, music, whatever, and anything that can be deemed as arts, you should definitely tap into ncbay.org. It's a nonprofit. And
Okay.
it's ncbae.org. And become a member. Inquire about the possibilities of being on the board if you have something to bring to the table. And that's something that I think that everybody should get behind because we talked about this over 10 years ago
Hmm.
and it's finally come to play in 2020. I think it's launched, but we had a lot of issues
Right.
with the current state of the community at the time. But
Hmm.
then our first physical year was 2024. We actually
Okay.
really be up and running. So we're launching a new year, and we have a lot to offer actually because
Hmm.
Daphne does a great job of connecting the Black community with what's going on and in Cincinnati that we don't know
Hmm.
about, the things we don't know about. So here's the
Right.
thing. This is the thing about Daphne. So Daphne actually sits in on a lot of meetings that's being had. where people are speaking on behalf of Black people, but they're not Black people.
Ooh, okay.
So she's bringing that to the forefront. And so this is
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason why NC Bay is present. This is why it exists to this day. So we're advocating for the Black people in the arts and music community in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a major thing for me to be on that board. So I just want to make sure that everyone tap into that. Um, and yeah, other than that, like I said, the Beat Lounge is looking to have its first beat battle of 2025 in March.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for that. Um, I think it was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, I want to talk about some of the partnerships.
Okay.
Uh, Beat Lounge. So of course we got Timeless Recording Studio.
Mm-hmm.
We have hiphop.com or hip hop
That's a
period TV.
website.
That's actually just another platform in Cincinnati.
Okay.
This is
Hip hop
spearheaded
period.
hiphop.com
Mm-hmm.
and hip hop period TV. It's two
Okay.
different, they're the same thing, but
Okay.
and this is Mark Bridges. Mark Bridges is a guy who manages artists in Cincinnati, but he
Okay.
also is an outlet for local music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my partnerships. And then
Okay.
we got Assist Office Support is one of my Assist Office Support handles a lot of the back office stuff for the Beat Lounge.
Okay.
And so they're rooted in like they can any business who needs like maybe some human resource
Mm-hmm.
activity or
That's dope.
yeah, this is somebody that you want to tap into.
Yeah,
Assist.
I had a similar operation down in Fort Lauderdale, doing back office support systems, company
Mhm.
similar to what you're describing. But continue.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a great resource for anyone who want to add an extra layer of professionalism to their
Mm-hmm.
small business. That's something to tap into. And then we have so I said Timeless, Hip Hop Period, Assist, Offer Support, and some of the other people I work with would be um, Pressure Session.
Okay.
They have a radio station, 88, that they do
Okay.
every Thursday.
88.3 wave.
88.3 Wave, yep. And they're doing they're doing a what is it called? Bang it or slang it, where you can send your music in and they let people vote on whether they should keep it on the air or if they should do away with it. So if
Gotcha.
anyone wants to get their music heard, that's a good way to get their music.
Dope.
Um,
Artists hear that. Pay attention to that. I'll put these links in the description.
absolutely. So those are some of the key people that I'm working with in Cincinnati. And
Okay.
if it's anybody else that I'm forgetting about, I'll just send it to you. But for the
Okay.
most part,
Perfect.
those are the people that I'm working with here. And I'm trying to think. I think it's something else. It's probably about it though. But if I think of anything else, I'll make sure I get it over to
For
you.
sure, for sure. Now let me ask you this. You a busy
Yeah.
brother. You a busy, busy man from all this
Yes,
stuff
sir.
that you got going on. And I salute you for being able to balance it all. We covered the music, we covered the motivation, and this unfortunately is the therapy question. With all that you got
Yeah.
going on, with all the successes that you're juggling, how's your mental health?
So I'm pretty good mentally. I would say that. Of course, I think everyone's dealing with some type of struggle mentally. So how I work with my mental health is time management. It's really
Yeah.
about making sure I make time for everything that matters in my life. And then I'm learning even more so that like I said, like we said toward the beginning of this
Hmm.
contact is that it's the the scheduling.
Hmm. Time
It's
management would be the
yeah,
biggest asset that you're utilizing right
yes.
now with all these things that you have going on to be successful at all of
Listen,
them.
if anybody want to be successful at anything in life, you have to know how to manage your time. You have to know how to set deadlines.
Hmm.
You have to know how to set goals, all of that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
so that's really the biggest thing. And so, you
Cool.
can find if you don't do that, you can find yourself doing a lot but getting nowhere.
Hmm.
So, in
So
this
yeah,
case,
so it sounds like you balance it out pretty good, being a father,
Yeah.
running all these businesses, and then the relationship that you have, and balancing all these partnerships. So that's good, man. That's good, man. Because that would drive a weaker man crazy, just trying to
Hey,
keep up
listen,
with
man,
himself.
it's a struggle. I'm gonna say that.
Hmm.
I don't want to make it seem like I got it all figured out. It's a struggle. It's a constant struggle. But if you want to be successful, you have to figure it out.
Hmm.
And the most important thing that I could say for anybody is time management is the thing that makes everything possible.
Hmm.
Some stuff, like I said, you get older and you become accountable for your own life. You start realizing that a lot of things that you have or don't have is because of you as an individual. And
Hmm.
until you sit down and say, in writing on paper, this is what I want out of life.
Hmm.
Specifically, you can't just say I want a lot of money. You got to say I want to earn this amount of money this month or by the end of this year.
Specificity.
Yeah, specific. And what's you
Hmm.
gonna trade? What what are you gonna what are you gonna trade in to be able to get this
Right.
accomplished?
What sacrifices, what disciplines
Yeah,
are you going to have in place? Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
I
that's
like
really
that.
it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. These young brothers need to hear that. Some old brothers need to hear it too, honestly.
And listen, one thing I could tell you is this: age is just a number. Like people, at the moment that you realize that you are accountable for your life is the moment that you become an adult.
And that it speaks to what you said earlier. Well, how did you put it? You said when I became a man, not when I became of age, but when you became a man. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a difference. There's a
it's a
difference.
difference. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
huge
solid.
difference. So,
That's solid.
and that's like I said, I turned 25 and I'm still doing childish things. And so
A
I
lot of
thought
us
I was,
were.
I
Yeah,
thought
a
I was
lot of
growing
us
up.
were. If you look
Yeah,
back, how naive we were, how foolish and arrogant we were, doing some
absolutely.
of the things we used to do. That's good stuff, man. I'm glad you did take the time to talk to me, man. I've been meaning to reach out to you, whenever I was in town. I just get so tied up. But I do appreciate you taking the time on this. I appreciate the insight that you're providing, and it gives me a chance to know a little bit more about you. Um, and I
Mhm.
will, try to stay as active with the Beat Lounge on the Facebook group as I can. I try to stay engaged with other people's posts too, not just dumping
Yeah,
my trash on there. Uh,
yeah. Oh no, I'll be checking you out, man. Hey, one thing I can say about you, man, is you are consistent, like with everything you do. Like,
consistency is king, bro.
yeah, you are consistent, man.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know you. I just saw you posting a lot, and then I started paying
Mm.
more attention. And so
Right.
then I started checking out your music and seeing what you're doing. I'm like, man, this brother overall is a dope brother. Like, I mean, then
Thanks for listening, man.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so I had I was working with TJ Vaughn,
Hmm.
and,
Yeah, I had
and
him on the
he
show a few months
yeah,
back.
yeah, he was telling me that he knew you
Hmm.
because I was like so because I so I've been I see your action, so I'm like I asked him, did he actually listen to your music? I'm like, you ever listen to Power Blast? Because I see him doing a
Hmm.
lot of promo, and he was like, yeah, that's my guy. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, this dude, like I've been knowing him for years. Like, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like, I mean, so so then of course I did see that y'all had a show and everything, but
Right.
he's a dope brother. Like, dude,
He is. He is. He's a solid dude.
yeah, he's a solid dude. So when I connected with him, he's the kind of guy who he wants to help people as well. I
Yes.
mean, we similar in that way. We both Aquarius, so
Okay.
we got that
Okay.
same vibe.
Yeah.
He's like a distant brother for me. Like, I mean, so but I asked him did he ever get a chance to check you out, but then to find out that he already knew you, just
Hmm.
kind of solidified more that I was gonna be rocking with you. Like, okay, so
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. That's
yeah,
good, man. I try to leave a good impression whenever I can, man. Again, like-minded individuals, like-minded brothers. That's what's important to me, man. Brothers from where I'm from, uh, doing something good because I don't see a lot good
yeah,
come
yeah,
out of my. I'm not talking for you, for me. In my
yeah,
experience,
yeah,
that's why I left Cincinnati because
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't feel that we had the hustle spirit, the rally. We didn't have like the program that you went through with the Urban League. Like I had to teach myself everything. I had to level up. I had to teach myself the etiquette. I had to put myself in these spaces. I had to dress for the job that I wanted. I had to dress better than my boss to get in the doors and learn all these things too. Just
Exactly.
the same path, just different methods to the
Yeah.
same end game. And I noticed a lot of brothers wasn't even open to the idea. And I just don't like being around stagnant.
Nah. And
I don't like
Cincinnati
being around
definitely will get
stagnant.
you there. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cincinnati definitely.
it'll leave a bad taste in your mouth. No Diddy. But but when I do identify some brothers, I want to reach out and at least like there's some cats that I didn't necessarily invite on the show, but I just reached out to them just to say, hey man, I see what you're doing. It looked like you're doing good things in your community. I just want to tap in and let you know that I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But brothers like y'all, and I see that y'all have stuff going on enterprise wise, and I want to highlight that because maybe that'll help you drum up some more business. Maybe that'll help bring
Yeah,
more awareness to the things that you're working on. So
yeah.
yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to do here, man. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity, and then of course, you didn't have to do this, so I appreciate that more so than anything that you considered having me on your platform, and that hopefully people will catch on to what you're trying to do because it's a good look
Yeah,
for the community. And
100%.
I
That's what I'm
will
trying
say
to
this,
do.
like, even though since I want to say this, even though Cincinnati is a rough city to make it out of, but I can honestly say in agreement with what you just said, uh, I've received a lot of love from Cincinnati, and this is the reason why I'm still here. But I know the struggles. I
Hmm.
can't sit here and say that it ain't no struggle. It's definitely struggles here.
Right.
But for me, I did receive a lot of love out of the city, and
Good.
I just want to keep that love here. I want to bring it back. Like I mean, so that way, I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
envisioned where we didn't have to go so far to make it.
Right.
But people don't understand is that we have to make it that way. It's
Hmm.
not just gonna happen. Nobody's just gonna come here and make it like that. We are the ones who got to make it that way. And so now you're playing a position where you have become an outlet, you have become a resource
Right.
for people to
Right.
do that. So now I feel as though with what you're doing now, providing me your platform, so
Hmm.
now we can bring all this together
Yeah.
and we can create that. Yeah, we
100%,
can create
man. We can help each other,
that.
man. That's that's
Yeah,
that's really what it's all about, building a community.
yeah.
Whether like you said with the one guy that you run into at Kroger's, y'all don't necessarily chop it up on the phone all the time, but when y'all see each other, it's a 40-minute, 45-minute conversation. Same
All the
thing.
time.
We don't always got to be kicking and hanging out at the same parties, but when we can align to do something to help each other, that helps us all.
It does. Absolutely. And that's
And
what
that's
it's
all
all
I'm trying
about.
to do, man. I appreciate you for acknowledging that because that is what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we in and out, we locked in.
For sure,
We
for
locked
sure.
in.
We got each other's numbers. We locked in. We're gonna keep this contact going, man. I want to thank you for being on the program. Any parting words before I close this out?
Like I said, I want to thank you. You got to come and judge one of these beat battles for me too. Get you
I don't
a
know if I can make the March one, but we'll get something together
I
on the
mean,
clock.
we got something to go.
Okay,
But
for sure.
I like to say to anybody out there that's looking to be successful in life, always take the time out to write out your goals, write out your priorities, and like I said, be specific about what it is that you want. And then your mindset is important. Make sure that you know everything, even though we're trying to make money, everything is not necessarily, you don't necessarily need money.
Right.
Sometimes just the fact that you can get access to the resource,
Yes.
that's what you need is the resource.
Yes. Yes.
You have to know what the resources are. Like right, this exchange didn't take money. I
Right.
mean, this is resource and
Right. Just
resource.
took some scheduling.
That's it. This time. All
Hmm.
right. So um anybody watching, just make sure you take your time very serious. The time is important. You know what I mean? If you want to reach me, contact me. Go to my website, www.thebeatlounge.ltd. Make sure you add the LTD. There's other beat lounges out there, but this is beatloungeltd.com. And if you're interested in learning more about the services that we offer at RH and Company, which is the image consulting business, RH and Company, the website will be up within the next week or so. We had to take it down for construction for the new year. RH and Company, the RH, the letter N, company.com. And just, keep the grind alive. Keep doing what you're doing if you want what you already had. But if you want something different, start doing something different.
Exactly. If you keep doing what you always did, you'll always get what you always got.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you ain't happy with that, you got to make some changes. Hey, this is Kontrax Valentino. He is the founder of the Beat Lounge. He has been one of my new guests for season 2 of Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. I want you to get activated. I want you to stay motivated. All the links are in the description for everything we talked about here tonight. Peace.
Peace.
Bro, I really appreciate it, man. Yo, if you enjoyed this episode, you got to check out this next video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You'll be the first to get all the new content, all the new motivational content, all the new music, and all the behind-the-scenes footage. And you'll be the first to know what's going on. This is Music Therapy and Motivation. I'm your host, Gino Black. I want you to get activated, and I hope you stay motivated. Peace.